If you were kidnapped and taken from your home and made to serve in the household of somebody else, one of your enemies, how would you act and how would you treat them? That question comes up when we come into 2 Kings chapter 5. Because it says that bands of raiders from Aram, and Aram is one of the nations around Israel, one of their enemies, bands of raiders from Aram had gone out and had taken captive a young girl from Israel. They kidnapped this young girl and sold her, and she served Naaman, a general in the army of the people of Aram. Okay? Now, we know that this Naaman, by the way, had leprosy, he had a serious skin disease. What would you do if you were the young girl serving in that household? I know what I probably wouldn't do. The next line says, she said to her mistress, if only my master would see the prophet who is in Samaria, he would cure him of his leprosy. If he would go to my hometown and talk to the prophet there, Elisha, he could be cured. I would have kept that a secret. See, here's what I do. When I face a challenge in life, I personalize it. I say, what's God doing in my life? And I get so busy looking at what God's doing in my life that I don't even seem to care way too often about what God is doing in everybody else's life. But God's plan for this young girl was not to get her to go home. God's plan was not to raise her to some position of power. God's plan did not even include her name getting mentioned in the Bible. God's plan for her life was for her to tell Naaman about Elisha, for Naaman to go to Elisha, to be healed, to be brought to God and come into a relationship with God, and for that story to inspire people for generations. It had almost nothing to do with the little girl. And my question for me, and you may share this question too, am I okay? Would I be okay if God's biggest plan for my life had almost nothing to do with me, but was all about other people and His glory? That's a really, really tough question. And we'll let that be today's Jumpstart.